As requested by one of my viewers, I thought I'd make a video addressing the new regulatory changes affecting Newton and pretty much the Canadian crypto space as a whole. So a few days ago, Newton released this post about working with the Ontario Securities Commission, or the OSC for short, and what it means for them as a crypto platform. Essentially, there are 3 things that they will have to implement as a result of getting registered with them. The first is a trading questionnaire, the next is net buy limits, and the last is portfolio loss notifications. If you haven't logged into your Newton account recently, you'll be presented with a pop-up message asking you to complete a short trading questionnaire, asking you about your experience and knowledge about crypto investing, your financial situation, and your risk tolerance. Based on their assessment of the results of your questionnaire, Newton may introduce certain restrictions on your account. If they deem your account appropriate, then you'll be able to continue using them. Otherwise, if they deem that crypto investing is not for you, then you'll be restricted and you can't use them, and your account will be limited to just withdrawal of funds. Now, depending on which province you live in, there may be net buy limits imposed on your account. If we look more into this, we can see that the limits do not apply to those living in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, or Quebec. If you live in any of the applicable provinces, then the net buy limits will be set at $30,000 per year. These limits reset annually. After 12 months have passed, your limit will reset. However, this net buy limit doesn't apply to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash. All of the other coins would fall into this category of net buy limits though. Let's now take a look at an example that Newton gives specifically with the net buy limits. You are a resident of Ontario, so your net buy limit is $30,000. You can buy and sell as much Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash as you want to. You buy $20,000 of Solana, a restricted cryptocurrency. You've now used $20,000 of your $30,000 annual limit. If you want to purchase more crypto, you are limited to buy a maximum of $10,000. You then sell $10,000 of Solana. You've now increased your net buy limit to $20,000. You buy $40,000 of Bitcoin and sell $10,000 of Ethereum. Your limit is unaffected because they are unrestricted cryptocurrencies. Time passes and now it's been a year since you signed up. Your limit resets to $30,000. Now that we understand what this all means, I'm going to just share my thoughts on this. The first is that Newton's not the only platform to be affected by these regulatory changes. In fact, last year when I interviewed the CEO of COINBERRY after being the first pure crypto platform to get registered with the OSC, he did say that they will have to impose these restrictions on users. You can find the video here and it starts at the 4-minute 56-second mark. The second is more so of a question. Is this net buy limit for just one platform? Does the $30,000 limit carry over to another platform? So for example, if you signed up with Newton and let's just say VirgoCX, would you have a $60,000 limit in total over those 2 platforms? Now this is something I'm not too sure about. I just wonder how they're going to be able to exchange that information between exchanges. In addition, I can think of a few different ways to circumvent these imposed limits, so I'm not sure of how effective they'll be at stopping someone from purchasing more than $30,000 if one really wanted to. But besides that though, with regards to the regulation that we're seeing, I'm actually neutral towards it. Having been in the crypto space since early 2017, I can make the argument for why we should have it, but also why it's unfair. I can see from the regulator's perspective of wanting to help limit people's losses, as there are a number of ways that people can and have actually lost their money. This is either through exit scams, hacks, pump and dump coins, and lastly, lack of good management of users' funds, just as we've been seeing with these crypto companies going bankrupt. No one wants to experience another Quadriga, Celsius, or Terra Luna fiasco again. I do believe though that if you don't have a solid understanding of personal finance, crypto is only going to amplify what you do or don't know. So if you've got a solid foundation, crypto can greatly build on that. However, if you don't, it can be very disastrous disastrous financially speaking. On the flip side of regulation though, I don't see why the government should get into our business of how we decide to spend or use our money, and I suspect that it's not really for the sole purpose of protecting users' funds. If the government really cared about users' funds, there would be no government lottery, or they would impose limits on how much one can spend on it, or they would have some sort of restriction that they're imposing on crypto as well. Everyone knows that the odds of winning the lottery are minuscule, yet the government's okay with running it because at the end of the day, they're the ones who win. In fact, those who can afford lottery tickets the least are the ones who buy them the most. Just as it says here, presumably higher income earners found different venues to burn through cash. Households with incomes of $75,000 and above spent $105 a year on lottery tickets, a quarter of what low-income homes spent, the August survey of 1,000 Americans age 18 and older found. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on regulation are. Should we or should we not have them? Lastly, I'll leave links to all of the articles used in this video down in the description.